easier? Is that what
I think it's the theory of relativity.
You think so?
And as you grow older and time passes like
Quickly.
it gets scary.
Yeah,
It
does.
does. It
It
does.
does.
Yeah.
It
But
does.
one of the things I always tell my clients, and this is a time frame thing, when we are all looking at how busy we are and all that, when we are interviewing or when we're talking to our leaders or when we're going to work, you always have to have a future forward timeline. You always should be looking ahead. And so for example, if you were to answer an interview question about, I don't know, a project that you're very proud of, you don't just talk about the project, you talk about its implications for the future. You talk about how this is going to help the business moving forward. So I think what's healthy is that we should always be thinking what's next, which is why we're here to talk about next year. We're here to talk about your career health check so that you can get ready for 2024.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of next
Right.
year and speaking of getting ready for 2024, you've got an exciting program happening on the 13th of January
Yes.
here at SPH. Tell us a little bit more about that, because that's a great way, I feel, for people to kickstart the year.
Yeah, it's exactly because, and that's why I wanted to talk about that future forward sort of logic and frame of reference. So we are having a beautiful, big, huge event at the SPH auditorium. I've seen it. It's a lovely location. It's going to fit many humans. And we're looking forward to meeting everyone who's going to come and join us for that event. So yeah, so that this is an event that we're doing. It's our first huge public run. Focused on helping listeners and anyone who's like trying to figure out where is my career going, and so what are the elements that's going to help me kind of crystallize my thoughts. What are the things I should be thinking about? How can I put some plans in place so that 2024 is going to be smooth?
Right.
So if you go to careeragility.org and scroll down to the second half of the page, you'll see the Career Success Workshop happening on the 13th of January, not far off, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So much going on. Lunch is included. Break
guest
time is in. You've got
speakers.
guest speakers like our very own FD, as well as Daniel Boy. They'll be sharing their own unique career experiences and advice with you.
Register
So,
early, okay? Because
Yes.
every event that we do, it
Sells out.
sells out quite fast.
does.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
like, the last event we did with DBS, DBS Perspectives.
That's right.
Oh my goodness.
full house.
Full house outdoors.
Yes, and I
Come on.
believe the early bird ticket prices,
Yes.
those are still
Yes.
valid today,
It's valid
right?
till the 31st of December.
Oh, there you go. Get on it. Get on
Yeah,
it. Otherwise,
it's valid till the end of the year.
yeah, it's like 188 or something versus 260. So it's like
Yeah.
$88
Yeah.
off, which
That's
is a
right.
good deal.
We
That's
actually put the link up on our Facebook.
Perfect.
So you can check
Yeah.
it there.
Wonderful.
I think it's a good opportunity kind of just to take stock because I think a lot of our listeners and I guess everyone in general, they don't get a chance to really interact with us. And it'd be nice to put a face to the name if you're a regular listener, and potentially you can ask your questions as well, and we can help you out because a lot of the issues might sound similar, but everything's got a context.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be unique, and if you can tell us a little bit more about yourself, we'll be happy to fill in the gaps.
Well, there you go.
I want to
Career
go down
advice.
as well.
Yeah.
But I will just be an observer. The way I like it. Let's continue to talk to Yen on The Big Show TV. Up next, Henry Moody. This is Pick Up the Phone on KISS 92.
Okay, so
Health check.
Health check. Let's go. So, we in one of the things that we're going to do on January 13th is to do a quick health check for our participants. So today I was thinking maybe we'll do a pseudo health check because
Okay.
we don't have that sort of luxury of time. So let's go. Question number 1. I think everyone should be thinking about whether or not they're happy at work. So the question out there is, are you happy at work? And when we say happy, there are many, many elements to it. So maybe I'll put it to all of you. But I know
You
your
know
answer's
the
going to
answer,
be
right?
your answer's going to be great, right? So are you happy at your work?
yes,
Yes, yeah.
yes.
I think we don't have to ask Angel because this is, it's not like a full-time position for Angel does a lot of other things.
Yeah, but
So-
FD does a lot of other
Yeah, I
things
do
as
other
well.
stuff as
Yeah, but
well.
he's full-time, you see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a full-time, part-time thing. I mean, this is my main job.
Yeah.
This is the job
But you have more flexibility, you see.
But I consistently wake up every day at 4 o'clock.
No, not
for
saying that,
this job,
that
you
your
know?
contribution is not
Right, no.
as great. But
Yeah.
what I'm talking about here is, maybe Yen will agree, you're talking about someone who feels stuck in the which is why I mean
Oh,
you
right,
ask yourself
okay.
this question: are you happy in your job? Let's say
Yeah.
we're talking about
I
a full
understand
timer.
what you're saying,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
No,
Yeah.
I do.
So yeah, are you happy? It's an important question. And if someone says no, then
Yeah, so then we need to deep dive a little bit and figure out what aspect of it. So earlier, I agree with Angel, and that it's not a full-time, part-time thing because the work is the work. And just because it's part-time doesn't make it less difficult
Yeah.
or less stressful, for example. And so we will, if you take stock of are you happy, think about all the elements. Is it the colleagues? Is it the environment? Is it your leader? Is it your compensation? There's so many other elements to it. And so that's one of the things that I'd like for our listeners to sort of, I guess, meditate on it and go like, am I truly happy? Or can I say that I'm okay? Or am I not happy? And then what is it that I'm not happy about? And again, I don't know if I want to go down the philosophical path this early in the morning.
Go, do
Um,
it.
But I like to ask people, how do you know you're happy if you've never been sad?
right.
You know, how do you can't have light without darkness.
Of course, yeah.
It
There's
is-
no sun without the
Yeah,
rain.
so for someone who might be, fresh in the market or someone who's new and never really had a life experience, they're going to go, yeah, I'm okay. But is there something better? So I'm tossing all that out there because I think it's something that our listeners and our participants and potentially everyone who's thinking about their career next year is going like, what can I do to make it better?
Actually,
But I
that's-
guess the older generation, speaking of older
Yeah.
generation, okay, coming to you in just a
Yeah,
while.
yeah.
FD, I think maybe you're thinking the same thing. Like what you just mentioned, you've not experienced like bad or whatever, so how would you know? Would that be something that could be seen as being greedy?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think everyone deserves to be happy.
Okay.
I think everyone deserves to optimize their income. So when someone is talking about, for example, I don't know if I should resign now because I intend to, or I should wait 3 months later until I get my bonus. That's not greedy. That's just optimizing.
Yeah.
The bonuses is part of all your work.
And you're owed that, yeah.
I mean, you deserve it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
I think what was it? I think pursuing happiness is our given right.
Yeah.
So why should I think like you said, this day and age, it's okay to want to be happy.
Yeah, yeah,
I think we should.
yeah. We deserve it, of course, yeah.
I just worry with what you said earlier. With you, there's no light without darkness. If you have young people, particularly first-time jobbers, in the first year of their work, and they're going to do this check now. And with some of the demands that young people put on companies these days, I wonder how many of them will actually know what it means to be happy.
Well, that's what
Yeah,
she was
that's-
saying because they don't
Yeah,
experience the
they
bad
don't
yet.
experience
yeah.
it.
Which is
So-
why I was taken aback a little bit,
Yeah.
because I was thinking to myself, if someone is satisfied or thinks they are happy in their job, then shouldn't it be okay for them to want to continue to
On
be
that path, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
If that's their benchmark, because everyone's benchmark is kind of different, right?
Glenn's absolutely right. So there are words, and then we're gonna start debating that language again, like
Okay.
happy, content,
Yeah.
satisfied, okay,
Yeah.
not happy. I don't know, horrible. Very
So
unhappy.
it's like a bar from 1
extremely
to 10,
dissatisfied.
right.
Yeah.
Again, everyone's got a different scope, different scale that they're going to be measuring themselves against. But you're right, FD. I think a lot of young people are feeling a lot of that stress and that pressure.
And you ask them, are you happy? And they go, I'm okay, lo.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
that's
go on
what we
air
do.
and continue
Yeah.
to talk about this. Interesting.
Kiss 92 Traffic.
On the AYE towards the MCE after the Keppel Road entrance, look out for a broken down vehicle. Same situation on the PIE, this time towards Tuas. Right after the Adam Road exit, a broken down vehicle has been spotted. If you have anything else, it's 88550920.
So the year is about to end, and we've got Yen with us today, and we're doing a little health check. All right, how can we make 2024 the year we achieve even more? career success.
I think everybody wants that. No matter how big or small your move is,
Yes.
you at least want minor adjustments to make that day, every day better.
And sometimes some of these adjustments can really change the game.
Yeah.
Sometimes, because again, like interest rates, a lot of these changes compound, and so with progress, you're just going to get better. But you've got to set your sights on something.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're doing this career health check. So it's not quite a health check, but it's a
It's a career health check.
Which is equally as important as a health check.
Absolutely,
right?
it is. I think everything sort of they obviously have a symbiotic relationship. If you have your health, then you'll have a career, but you can't do one without the other. And so let's talk about question number one, and that was, are you happy? And then we can dive a little bit into, what do you mean by happy? Does it mean I have to hit a certain amount of income? Does it mean I have to have like a good boss and my boss listened to me, but today he was not nice, but tomorrow he's going to be okay? He was very nice to us last week, so everyone's going to have to sort of think about, what does it mean whether or not they're happy at work?
Yeah.
But this leads on and is very connected to question number 2. Do you have a healthy work-life balance?
Right.
And I'm putting it out there. Do you have a healthy work-life balance?
If you want to use any one of us, right?
I
think
am.
we should
I'm
use
looking
FD.
Sila.
Let him represent us today.
Sila.
Okay.
Easier that way, right?
Yeah, well, he has
So-
all the experience.
So are you happy at work?
I'm absolutely happy at
Okay,
work.
and then the second question that
Do you-
Yen
Do I have a
asked.
work-life balance? Absolutely. I had less of a work-life balance where I was. I have a far better work-life balance here.
So you've managed to achieve a degree of equilibrium that's balanced.
Management has allowed me to achieve that equilibrium.
Then how come your hair is turning whiter and whiter as the
That's
days
called
go by?
children.
Oh,
That's
okay,
called
okay.
children.
Oh, children. Oh, no. Are you blaming your kid?
Of course I am.
Oh, dear.
I know where the blame goes.
That's a good point. And so
Children?
work-life balance. Sometimes life can be very stressful,
Yeah.
and in this season, this holiday season, when you see relatives that you don't regularly catch up with, sometimes that's the judgy, distant relative, and you're going, oh, I have to meet this person again, and then 2 months later we're going to see this person again.
Chinese New Year.
And so sometimes life obligations can pull you down. And
Right.
so when we talk about a healthy work-life balance, it's got to be, I think, something that makes you happy.
Yeah.
You can't be saying, I want work-life balance, but my life part of it
Is
is
unhappy.
extremely high obligations,
Yeah.
and maybe, I keep throwing money at this life thing that's not, it's like a deep black hole.
And
I'm
maybe
very
the
unhappy.
relationship with your partner is
Correct.
no good.
That's
Like,
vital.
it
The
could be
only
a-
thing,
yeah.
you could have a very old pet that's going to pass on soon.
Sick
Yeah.
There
parent.
is so many
Yeah.
things about life that can be very stressful.
Correct.
So, and you want to make sure that if you can take care of the work, then you've got time and bandwidth to take care of the life.
Right.
Yeah, because I think like with career, and if you're having a not so good life balance, the money from your career will ease things up a little bit. Because if you're struggling in your career and not making so much, the life is even going to be crappier.
Correct.
Yes, exactly. And so we've got all the tools and the tips to help you to kind of steady your career.
Yeah.
And you've got the decisions, you've got the frameworks, you've got the goals, and so then you've got more mind space
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
looking
Less
after
worry.
looking after the things that are important, exams,
Yeah.
health, and a whole bunch of other things,
Yeah.
because you want to like insert some exercise,
Yeah.
you want to go pursue some hobbies,
Yeah.
Travel.
not just having to go to hospital all the time, because that's not fun.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah,
I
because
think
not
some
many
people
people
need to be
think-
reminded of that.
A lot of people don't think about it. They work so hard, they
Yeah.
slog so hard, and then their health is out of balance.
Exactly.
And their life is out of
And you've
balance.
seen that on many occasions, I'm sure, right, Yen?
Absolutely, all the time. Especially, you hear that horrible, I'm so sorry, politically incorrect, but that horrible story where the man works a lot, he travels all the time, and then the wife is having it with the postman.
It's
Yeah.
it's the
Or the
gardener.
milkman.
It's the gardener. The milkman.
Nowadays, it's the Lazada delivery
Oh
guy.
dear!
Oh, wow, FD.
Wow, you got a
Okay.
good-looking one there.
All right, it's 8:14.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought to you by
But I mean, you talk
Sorry,
about the
terrible
wives,
joke.
but the men as well. I mean, when they're
Terrible
traveling,
joke.
you know,
Terrible
No,
joke.
no, no.
it's
it's
so
fine.
stereotypical, right?
Let's not go there.
yeah.
Terrible joke.
Oh dear. Okay.
No, but I think also when we look at this and when we do our health check, we understand that there's stuff we want. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's stuff we want, and then there's the real world.
yeah,
Yeah.
the stuff that you need.
You know, and
Yeah.
we need to understand that not everything we want is going to be attainable in 2024.
Baby steps.
Yeah,
Baby steps.
but you should be at least
Baby steps.
hopeful.
Correct.
You know,
Hopeful,
and
yes,
what-
but
what-
understand that there's the real world.
But we don't know
Yeah.
what he's referring to.
That's true. Like, what are you referring to in terms of unattainability?
Many things.
Like what?
The salary I would like to have.
Okay.
The working
You're saying
hours.
SPH is not paying you
No,
enough.
I'm talking about in general.
Oh, in
general.
general.
The salary that I want to have, the working hours that I want to have, the amount of leave I want. There's so many things that I want in 2024, but in the real world, that's not going to
I
happen
think if you
now.
say I want, people who are listening right now will be thinking that you're
It's
talking about
him.
yourself.
No, no.
Yeah.
So you're in general.
I'm talking in general.
Yeah.
So when people look at 2024, you've got to take into account the real world, and I say this particularly to anyone who is young and new in the market.
Yeah.
There is the real world.
People
to
who
deal
might
with.
want to apply for a job in your company. Is that it?
People who
Wait,
want
Yeah,
to apply for a job
warning
in
them.
any company.
Just
any
on
company.
that note of you talking about attainability and all that, I was just listening to a podcast, the Mind Valley podcast, where they featured one of my very old friends, Patrick Grove. Seventh richest man in Australia. He's done fantastic for himself. Comes from a comfortable family, private school, and all that, but made his own. I think he was a millionaire by the time he was 20.
Wow.
But then lost it all because of the dot-com boom.
Yeah.
Right.
And then at 24, literally did not have anything.
Okay.
Started journaling. You know, and in his journaling, first started ranting and venting about all the things he didn't have. Why me? Why woe is me? And why am I not having this and all that? But then started changing the language to how can I achieve this? How can I get it?
Yeah.
And one day wrote, I am going to bring my company, obviously he became very successful, bring my company to $100 million worth in 12 months, and managed to do that 4 times over.
That's
just
the
with the
power.
power of
Manifestation.
Manifestation.
and
It's
journaling
very
as well.
powerful.
Amazing. Like I was
Yeah.
listening to it, I was like, oh my gosh. okay.
Really? I don't believe this.
No,
Just
no. You
relax.
see, with
It
with the
works.
very start of you saying, I don't believe this,
Yeah.
it won't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You,
So
you
it
have
has
to be
to
open.
start with, it will
How
happen.
many Patrick Groves are there out there?
But the,
You know what I mean?
but the thing is, not everyone is going to say 100 million. Someone may say, I want an HDB flat.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want my own home. I want my own children. I want my dream job and all that. But it can happen. So
Yeah.
it's your $100 million.
You know,
you
Angel,
know
you,
what I mean?
should be a career coach. Join us.
Yeah.
Join us. Sure.
I seriously believe that if you want to be successful, you will never attain it without a dream.
Yeah.
You will
Yeah.
never attain success without a dream. You have to have the dream.
So coming back to FD's point, which was very relevant, it's yes, you have to know what you want, and then you say about you're talking about the real world, and so we provide you the strategies
Yeah.
to move the needle just a bit. And because you've taken one step already, then the next step and the next step, then you find that if you look back, you realize that I've come a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very confident that with the strategies that we share and the mindset that we talk about, that you will definitely get what you want in 2024. But obviously, we want to have smart goals, right? They have to be
Yes.
specific. You cannot just say, I want work-life balance.
And
no,
smart
that's not going to work.
steps
Yeah,
towards
exactly.
it,
But
right?
you've got to say something like, I plan to take Friday mornings to plan my week for the next week, so
yeah.
that the following week I can eke out another 2 hours to go do something. Or I plan to have one lunch a week with someone from
That can
outside
help
my
you.
industry.
Yes.
Exactly, as part of my networking strategy. So there are very, very specific ideas that we're going to share with you on January the 13th.
Because if you fail to plan, because you plan to... What was it?
You plan to fail.
You plan to fail, that's right, yeah.
And so yes, that is your goal. If you can help you to kind of figure out a specific goal, we will give you the steps to help you at least get one step closer. Now, we're not magicians, but I think the world of the career, for example, if you're saying, I would like to earn more money.
Yeah.
Of course, if today you're on $5,000 a month and tomorrow you want $1 million, that's going to
not
be,
gonna happen.
that's not very specific,
Yeah.
unless you've got some grand idea. And again, scalability is actually, it can happen. It is possible. But we're here to help you to identify ways to speak to your leader. We're going to ideate with you on how you can add more value at your workplace so that you are seen to be someone who's worthy of promotion.
Yeah.
And that's going to be one of the many strategies that we're going to share on the 13th of January as well as part of the acceleration component.
Because your boss is not going to say, okay, I'm going to give you a raise for doing exactly what you're doing, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
So if your goal is to make more money, which was, by the way, one of the questions I was going to ask, do you feel that you're adequately compensated? If not, then what are you doing about it?
Yeah.
have-
Because
Is it always about the money?
Sometimes. I mean,
Quite
we
often.
we have to take care of the money first so that we have our freedom funds.
Yeah.
And
The
then
freedom
we can,
to do
then
what
we can
you
do
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
We can do more. But, like you, work is not work.
That's why they always
Yeah.
talk about
Okay, too.
financial freedom.
And the people who say it's not about the money have already made
Made
it.
it,
Come
yeah.
on.
Yeah, let's be honest.
There you go. That's why he's always like, oh, is it really about the money?
No, no, no.
That's because you already made it.
I'm always about the money. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like I know of many people who go like, no, it's not about the money.
Nonsense,
But
that's
I'm always
bull.
saying,
You're
no,
lying
it
to-
actually
It
is.
is.
You're
It
lying to
It
yourself.
has
No,
to
why
be
are you
about-
working so hard for, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you want some time with your family and you're always complaining like,
That's
oh,
what
there's
she's
no
saying.
work-life balance, and then you're not really making that much money and you're saying, no, it's not about the money. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. I'm 67 years old. It's still about the money, man.
It's about value. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily about the money, because if
No,
you're
it's
going to give
about
me
the money.
$2, I might not take on the assignment
Yeah.
for $2. But it's about the value. So
Okay.
so if I offer value to you and advice, and then so the fee that's associated with that value should be, matching. Yeah. So it is about the money. Otherwise, I won't get out of bed in the morning.
But how do we know our value?
Yeah, and that's the tricky part. And so one of the things that we are going to talk about is to help our participants next year at the 13th January event at our Career Success Workshop. We're going to give you a little bit more career clarity, so that you can identify the specific elements that go into what's a healthy work-life balance, what's enough, what's more, what less.
Because
so you
I
can
may think
about
I'm
those.
worth $10,000, but my boss may think I'm worth $3.
Yeah.
So how do we firstly be realistic about what we're worth? I mean, are you,
Yeah.
as career strategists, able to tell Mr. A
Yes.
that he is worth this much based on his whole experience? Or do you say a rough value? Because a lot of people, I feel, coming
Yeah.
in on the January 13th will
Yeah.
go, am I earning enough? But
Yeah.
you can't just answer that question like
Yo,
that, right?
Oh my God. But as you were asking, I've got so convoluted. My mind was going all over the place because there's this perception of what I think I deserve, but also what the world thinks
Yes,
I'm
exactly.
worth. But at the same time, what are you doing to increase the visibility so that the perception and your reputation
Goes
and
up.
your brand and a whole host of other non-monetary complications that we're going to talk about
Wow.
on January the 13th. So you have to come join us. So we can, if you can get some ideas and you can go off on your merry way, I think the early bird price is worth your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
Because
that-
our programs are not cheap. So
It's
Yeah.
It's $180 right now until the end of the year. You go to careeragility.org, sign up, because after that, I think it's like $268 or
Yeah,
something like
that's
that,
right,
right?
yeah.
And you get a whole day, 9 to 5.
Which is still worth it if you think about it,
Yeah.
because our actual programs, our one-to-one coaching programs, can be quite expensive.
Yeah, of
and so
course.
what we're doing for January the 13th, I don't want to sound like all proud, but yeah, on January the 13th, we're going to share with you, tips and tricks. And if those tips and tricks are enough, then we're happy for you.
Yeah.
Then you don't really need to sign on to our big programs, because our big programs are for complex issues.
Okay, yeah.
Because since I've known you and Adrian, I've brought this question up to a lot of people I've met. It's a simple question. What's your brand? And 9 times out of 10, I get the same answer. You can't ask me that question because I'm not a personality. Personality
No, everyone's got a brand.
this is what people outside are saying. You can't ask me that question. I'm not a personality. I'm not a known person. Therefore, I don't have a brand.
I mean, they see
course you do.
they see brand differently.
They see brand
Yeah.
differently, and you need to see brand as everybody has a brand.
Everybody has a brand.
You are a brand.
You are a brand. No matter what you do, you are a brand.
Because you're always selling yourself, no matter on what level. You know, when you
Yeah.
go in an interview, you're selling yourself.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
meet someone, you're selling yourself.
Yes, first impressions count. And when I was working with a lot of undergrads not too long ago, and I was talking about branding, and a lot of them actually respond that they don't brand themselves. And I said, if you don't brand yourself, the world will brand you.
Oh,
And
wow.
you are branded by the school you come from, by the company you work for, which may not be the kind of brand you want to share.
Yeah.
So then you have to curate, you have to put your foot out and tell the universe who you are, so that it doesn't get it's not thrown at you.
I think that's
Okay, stand
interesting.
by.
Let's talk about that.
Traffic.
Kiss 92 traffic.
Quite a few situations. The first is on the PIE towards Tuas. After the Adam Road exit, a stationary vehicle has been spotted. So this one has its hazard lights on. Look out for that. Also on the CTE towards the SLE, after Mulmain Road's exit, a vehicle has broken down. On the AYE towards the MCE at the Portstown Avenue exit, another vehicle has broken down. Wherever you are this Thursday, stay safe.
Good morning, Singapore. It's Glenn Angel and the Flying Dutchman. Our guest for today is Yen from Career Agility International, and we're talking about how you can achieve career success in 2024.
Yeah, and we were just talking on the Big Show TV about branding, and you
Yeah.
said that everyone has to have a brand, because if you don't, the world will brand you.
Exactly. So if you don't tell the world who you are, the world will decide for you. And maybe they'll they'll have wrong ideas, because
Labels.
you're determined by the organization you work for. And so if you work for HSBC, then you're branded, oh, you're HSBC. And then in my mind, if I like HSBC, great, but what if I don't? And I've decided, oh, you're HSBC, and I associate you with a brand that I may
Don't like,
or I may
yeah.
not like. Or you come from a certain school. I was like, oh, you're from NUS. Okay, no, I had a hire from another school that was a lot better. And so I had my impression that maybe just because you come from a certain institution that you're not as good. But again, it's about you as an individual, not about where you come from or what institution you attend
Yeah.
or what organization you work for. You have to have your own brand. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about that on
January the
13th. Because I think that's really critical in helping you understand all of the collateral that you're going to put out to the world for your next job.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
one of the key things that I wanted to share is that you're always looking for your next job. Even if you're happy at work,
Wow.
you're always going to be
Yeah.
looking for what's next.
Because, I mean, I beg your pardon, Adrian and Yen say this all the time. You always have to have a contingency plan.
yes.
You cannot be complacent and just sit there and think your job tomorrow is safe, because you are always replaceable.
But that is age related, isn't it?
Not
No, not at
necessarily,
all.
no.
Not at all.
There will always be someone younger, better looking, cuter, more capable than
More
you.
updated.
More updated than you,
Yeah.
more relevant than you.
Yeah.
So you always have to keep yourself on your toes and not like sit and rest on your laurels and,
And-
say, you know
yeah.
what, I've got this sorted and
Yeah.
I'm good for the next 5 years.
Alvin and I have been binging Survivor.
Okay.
Every time a Survivor person goes, I've got this, I'm leading the pack, I'm making the decisions,
They fall.
a day later, the game completely turns over, and then they're suddenly at the bottom of the stack. It's the same thing. So absolutely right. Don't be complacent, and that's why we call ourselves career agility.
Yeah.
Because you are always thinking, what's next? What can I do better? How can I land better? And never turn down opportunities. And so, as headhunters, Adrian was also telling this story many times, myself included. I would call an individual up and I'll ask, there's this opportunity. Your profile looks like a good fit. Would you be interested to explore? No, don't call me. How do you get my number?
Yeah.
Don't call me. I'm happy. And then 6 months later, they find themselves, calling me back, going, "Is that opportunity still open?" And so it's always about keeping your eye on the ball.
We're all playing the Squid Game.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind
for sure. Because
But
I
there's
mean,
no 456 million at the end of the tunnel.
but I mean, like what we're saying, like for us, for example, your next job may not be a radio presenter. You know what I mean? It may not be. It may be something else. Like for FD, moving on to your events or doing something else.
Yeah, once
I
I mean,
wanna
because the
teach.
both of you are in different.
We have other stuff going on as
no,
well.
for me, I'll definitely still be in radio.
In radio, yeah, but it could be at a different level, a different
be
position.
management.
There you
So
go.
when we
Yeah.
say there's this growth, when we say there's a new job, when we say there's a new career, it doesn't necessarily mean you're leaving the organization.
Yes,
no,
exactly.
or the industry.
Or the
Or the
industry.
industry.
Yes, yeah.
I think it's always good to have a plug out there and put a couple of feelers out there and make sure that you know what's going on. I'm saying there are opportunities, you don't have to embrace them, but
Yeah.
you have to know that they're there
Yeah.
so that you can also benchmark according to what
Yep.
you are currently getting, or whether or not you should be doing something different, or you
To
should
get
be
there.
talking to your leaders about maybe getting a larger scope,
Yeah.
or again negotiating for more money.
I think
And how do
bosses
you
hate that, right?
How do you
They
ask
hate
for a
the
raise?
negotiation part.
No, not at all.
absolutely
in fact,
hate it.
In
No.
fact, I would look at my people differently if I know that they're always keeping an eye on the ball and thinking about how can I give more value in order to get more value. And then if you do well, I do well as well.
But again, you
And then
can't
we all
expect
do
to
well
get
together.
more without adding more value. Right?
So
Exactly, and-
if you want more money, just sell more. But not everyone's in the sales role.
Yeah.
But we're always talking about how can you get more value. And so we're going to talk about, again, the negotiation, how to ask for a raise is also going to be covered as a topic.
Wow, it's
on
quite a lot of
January 13th.
stuff.
It's a
My
lot of
goodness.
All right.
it's
The
like a
bosses are all
crash
going,
course.
oh my God.
Did we?
I just want to say to the bosses, don't go, oh my God. Because you may find out someone coming out of this workshop will actually be easier to handle than now.
Because
Yes.
you need to arm your
Because they
employees.
know.
Yes, that's a good point. We're doing a lot of work with management and leaders right now on helping them to articulate value and career conversations with their teams.
Yeah.
So just a question before we go back on the Big Show TV. Who is this workshop for? Is it for employees, employers? Who exactly is the demographic?
I love that because
Okay.
because even
it's for everyone.
employers have their own careers. And employees have their own careers. And all of us have a career.
Even if you're running your own business?
Even if you're running your own business, yeah, because
Yeah.
a lot of the strategies would be very relevant in understanding the macroeconomic, landscape and all of that. It's very relevant because if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to hire people as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, let's continue to talk to Yen on the Big Show TV. Up next, Icona Pop. This is Tears on the Dance Floor on Kiss 92.
Poor girl crying on the dance floor. So sad.
And your tears will drop. People slip, sprain an ankle. Oh, it's dangerous.
Okay, so what else are we talking about
So
today?
health check question. Where did we go? We asked
Work-life balance.
Are you
Happy or
happy?
not? Yep.
Do you enjoy a healthy work-life balance?
Yeah.
Adequately paid.
Do you feel that you're adequately compensated?
I
If
just
you
want to bring
lo-
up something
yeah.
there. Adequately compensated.
He's not happy.
No. No.
He keeps ringing out the money thing.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
This is the point. This is my point.
What?
And
Are you
it's a
listening?
belief. It's it's a point I believe. If you work and you have regular appraisals, you have opportunities to ask for increments. If you're on contract, end of contract. Don't complain about your income. This is my belief. Don't complain about your income halfway through a contract.
Yeah.
If the
Yeah,
terms
for
have
sure.
not changed, because you agreed to
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
out
yeah.
of bed for a
Yeah.
sum of money.
For the next
Yeah.
X amount of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and don't come halfway through the contract
Yeah.
and start to complain.
Yeah.
That's a great point because when we work with our clients, and so my advice would be if you knew more and you've done the research, then you know your market rate.
Exactly.
If you don't know your market rate and you agreed to something,
That's
that's
your
on you.
fault.
That's on you.
Yeah.
You're stuck with it.
And I'd consider that like tuition fees. So we have to, sometimes when we do something new, we don't realize what our rate is or we don't realize what our value is until we've tried a couple of assignments. And then you realize, okay, I was underpaid for that. The next one, I'm going to be better. But if you had a career mentor, or if you had someone like us on your side, we'll tell you, hey, did you think about this? How about that? I would recommend a sweetener
Yeah.
at the end of that contract. If I achieved KPIs before
Yes.
deadline and I delivered it in a glossy package with a beautiful bow and I return it to you and it's immediately productive, I deserve my bonus. I deserve a sweetener. Then you've got to negotiate first.
But not all companies are like that.
You know.
No, it's up to you
Yeah.
to ask.
And
if you
not
don't
many
ask,
people
you
You've
can
got to
don't have.
open your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You do. You need to.
Of course. I understand that.
Not
But,
many people open their mouths.
Right.
You know, they
Or
don't
maybe they're
dare
afraid to ask,
No,
or
but
they don't
They
know
don't
what
dare.
to
There are
ask.
some companies that are just not.
Yeah.
Open
True.
to it.
So
Yeah,
then,
they're not
once
open to
you've
it.
built your reputation and you've built your clientele, then you can choose which clients you want to take on, or which assignments you want to take on. But that's how the world works. So yes, not all companies would be
Yeah.
like genuine, or not all
Yeah.
companies would be flexible. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a given.
Yeah.
You make your bid according
Yes.
to
Yeah.
whether or not you've got other pipeline. If you don't, then maybe you'll need to take it. But until when? And then you have a very healthy kind of, your eyes are open, you have a very healthy boundaries, you actually know how to manage the client because they're not really giving you more, so you do enough.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm just thinking about it from a perspective of someone being very healthy in their response to the world.
Yeah.
And again, we're going to share a lot of this attitude. And if I can convey some of this, healthy boundaries and healthy attitude and just being very realistic, then the world's not going to be so scary.
Yeah.
And it's a lot to do with mindset.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all about the mindset.
Yeah.
But also the planning. Because if you sometimes feel like, oh, it's not fair or I'm entitled, and then it's really hard.
But that's
Yeah.
also mindset.
The
isn't
reason
it?
why I'm saying this is because there are certain industries, there are certain companies that will not stand for this. And, while we're talking about all this, right, I mean, there are possibilities that it could backfire for some.
Yeah.
There's always
Right?
that percentage.
Always.
Correct.
There's
Yeah.
always that percentage.
Because there's always someone waiting backstage to sit in your position.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's always
Yes.
someone
Always.
lining up. There's a queue.
Yes.
Always.
And as soon as you
Yes.
slip, somebody is going to move in. So
Yes.
I think when it comes to alternate plans, contingency plans,
Yeah.
those you're going to talk about on the 13th as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's the next health check question is if you lost your job today, do you have a backup plan? Or what is your backup plan?
Right.
And are you confident that plan's going to be okay? It's going to work out. And so we don't want to scare you, but we want you to be aware that, we have to manage our risks.
Yeah.
So it's all part of your whole career strategy.
But
because
that doesn't-
I mean, I've been doing this a long time,
Yeah.
and I've seen many
Come and go.
people
Slip.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
because they perceive their value as such, but then they go in there, and it's like, really? Okay, bye.
So they think they're
They think,
they're
exactly.
indispensable. Yeah.
But no one. If
No.
there's one
No
thing
one.
that I've learned in
Yeah.
this industry that I'm
You're
in,
right.
Yeah.
no one is indispensable.
Yeah.
And
think
depending on who your superior is, especially if your superior has been in your position
position.
once upon a time, there is no chance.
Yeah.
I think
There
this
is
whole,
no negotiation.
Yeah.
I think this whole thing of being indispensable, it runs across a lot of industries.
Yes.
No, it
Yeah.
does. It does. Nobody is irreplaceable. Yeah.
Everybody's replaceable.
Yeah,
you
for
don't.
sure.
Again, and one of the questions I was asking, even I'm replaceable.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're going to be a better coach than me. Holy
Oh,
cow!
no.
Wow.
You give such great advice,
Aw.
and I'm like, wow, okay, great. Why don't you come and join us?
I'm moving in right now. Okay, so what about things like your resume, your LinkedIn? I mean,
Yeah.
you and Adrian time and time again talked about
Yeah.
LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
If you don't have a LinkedIn profile,
Oh
get
my
one.
god! Yeah, I think especially for our market. Again,
You need
I'm
yours
speaking-
updated, by the way.
Speaking about Singapore specifically, LinkedIn is heavily utilized
Yeah.
and leveraged for noise making, for visibility. And if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, it's a problem.
But
if you
proper noise making, though,
or worse, if you have a LinkedIn profile that says something else than who you actually are. So
His
I guess
doesn't even have a
No.
I
photograph.
don't know. I'm
I'm
just
not going
to-
anywhere.
Yeah. No, but yours still
I'm not
says that
doing
you're
anything
there.
else.
Okay, so what do you say to someone like
Yeah.
that?
I'm ready to retire in 2 years.
I
man.
don't. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to do
firstly,
anything.
his doesn't have a photograph. Secondly, it says that he's still at 1FM.
No.
Yeah, it does.
When did I
Oh,
set up
let's
my
look.
LinkedIn? I don't have a link.
Let's
you
look,
do.
let's
I don't
look.
have a LinkedIn.
I'm going
and
to
I,
look.
You do.
Really?
Yes.
And,
No, I don't.
I'm looking.
You do.
Well, the thing is, I meet a lot of people who are very cautious, and it's completely understandable. So if you join us in January, we'll talk about LinkedIn, and I will go through how you can potentially go into LinkedIn and not, accidentally do something bad.
Right.
I want to share something with you, Glenn. And again, to a lot of people who feel like my LinkedIn profile is just there, and I'm happy. I'll just leave it alone. It's fine. what I would say to them is that if you are happy at your work and you're thinking, I want to accelerate,
Yeah.
I'd like to be in management, then your LinkedIn profile needs to be crafted for that aspiration.
Could someone else have done this? Because I didn't do this.
They could have. I guess they could
It's
have.
not me.
Wow.
Yeah, no, because it does say
You're joking.
senior presenter
No.
at SPH 1FM 91.3 at Singapore.
There is
you
no
need,
way.
You need to get your LinkedIn back. You
Yeah.
need to make sure
I,
that
I
you-
don't even remember setting up a LinkedIn.
Do you even remember your password?
We've got
No.
a
I have nothing. I've not set
mutual
up a,
connection with someone from one championship.
Nope. Nope.
Wow.
This is not me.
So maybe it's someone else. But the thing is,
Wow.
whoever is looking for him may think that that's him, right?
Yeah, or
understandably.
worse, or worse, as a data point, I'd call him a boomer. As a data point.
Okay.
So my read of someone whose profile is not updated, number one, maybe very shy, or very private, or a boomer who doesn't know how to manage social media.
yeah.
And that's going to be dangerous in this day and age because I expect all of you to be digital. Right? And LinkedIn has got multiple purposes. So there are the LinkedIn profiles that are entrepreneurial, and they're because they're doing their LinkedIn profile is intended to get more business.
Yeah.
For example, then there are the job seeker profiles. Then there are the there's the accelerator profiles. So if you're looking to get promoted, you should plan your LinkedIn to have information that
Yeah.
helps your leader see you in a different light.
And I'll bet 9 out of
Hang
10
on.
people listening to us right now don't know how to do that.
Hang on.
Right.
Glenn, Angel, and the Flying Dutchman.
Wake up.
The Big Show on Kiss 92.
All right, Kiss 92, all the great songs in one place. We're back with Yen from Korea Agility International.
Yeah.
Good morning, Yen.
Good
And we were
morning.
all talking about your LinkedIn. Is
Yeah.
your LinkedIn
Am I the
updated?
only one who's not on LinkedIn? Are you on LinkedIn?
Yeah, he's on
I'm
LinkedIn.
on
You
LinkedIn.
are
You're
on
on
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn as
Yeah,
well.
he is on
Yeah.
LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. The girls are on LinkedIn. Cheyenne and Shalini are on LinkedIn as well.
LinkedIn, I think, is
That is kind of
That is scary
strange
that you're-
because no,
you
that's
didn't set
certainly
it
not
up.
me.
Well, then you need to write to LinkedIn and say that's not you, or start your own LinkedIn and make sure that, and you need to update yours because
yeah, mine
you
is-
says you're still there as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So, yeah, but okay. So I'm looking at FD's LinkedIn profile. He hasn't got sort of a headshot.
Right.
No.
What do you say about headshots and what kind of photo needs to be there?
You need to have a headshot. You need to have a professional looking headshot that is slightly more real estate agent and a lot less passport. So a lot of individuals like to put full frontal, their eyebrows and their identification. Identification photographs don't do us justice
No,
most of the time.
not at all.
especially the years. Ayo. Oh.
So your photograph on LinkedIn is a headshot. It needs to be centered in that circle, and you need to kind of tilt it a little bit and look at the camera. Please don't have one of those photographs where you're holding a microphone and looking away, because that's not nice. Or a half body shot, not nice.
But what if you are a host?
yeah,
Can you have that microphone shot in your LinkedIn
Yeah.
profile?
No, you can have it in many other links in
Right,
your LinkedIn.
right,
You can
right.
have. You've got many examples of you on video
Yeah, yeah.
and photographs as well. So no, that should be a headshot.
So
Okay.
I'm doing it wrong as
Headshot.
well. I've got mine with my headphones on, so I shouldn't have something like that.
But you've got many more photos to choose from. So
Yeah, I do,
so
yeah.
so select a headshot that would look at the camera, and then it's got to portray a huge number of subjective elements: reliability, approachability, professionalism. There's a whole lot.
It's curated.
It has to be curated. That's why we say professional headshot.
Yeah.
And so if you've got a photo of yourself at your wedding and you cut off your spouse, cannot. Holiday
yeah.
photo with a glass of wine, cannot.
No bikini shots.
No
then.
bikini shots. No. Like,
So many rules.
Yeah. No,
I'm
because
gonna
it's just
put
a
this
headshot.
because this is not Facebook or Instagram. It is
Correct.
not your social media in that
Correct.
sense.
It's
not,
It is
yeah, it's
your
business.
professional media.
That's
right.
right. It's almost like your call card, your talent card.
Yeah.
And that if someone lands on your LinkedIn, you should the reader should be able to immediately figure out what's your brand, what do you represent, and what
But the
can
thing
you
is,
do for
having
me?
been in the industry for so long, like FD, for example, or myself, right? I mean, who looks at
Yeah.
tried and tested. You hire. You don't hire. It's fine. I go
I
play
totally
golf.
understand where he's coming from.
Is that
That's it. I
complacent?
don't audition.
like-
I don't audition. I
Neither
don't.
do I.
If
I
you
don't
want me to
audition,
do
yeah.
a voiceover for you, you just give me a call. I'll do.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, do a little voice test for you.
Yeah.
because I'm over that.
Yeah.
I think
take it or leave it.
Present
right?
company excluded, because you've been long enough in the industry that if I do a Google search, I will find you. I think it's relevant for those that are still sort of building their brand or still figuring out. Because if you've got other ways of approaching your audience to earn your assignments, then that's okay.
Yeah.
Not judging.
We
of course
talk LinkedIn and we talk business. Are there any people who really don't need to be on LinkedIn?
I guess again, law enforcement. I mean, if you're FBI, or if you're working
Secret Service.
something in the defense world. Yeah,
Say someone like restaurant managers. Do they need to be on LinkedIn?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they
What
can.
about staff?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Because
why
you
not?
can find a job if your restaurant
They're
closes
basically
down.
saying everyone should be on
Everyone.
LinkedIn.
Everybody.
Everybody.
It covers every
Yeah.
every job, every industry.
Every. Yeah.
Globally, there are markets in Europe where LinkedIn is not heavily utilized. So I think if you know your market, then you'll know your strategy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got to figure out, which
Okay.
one works best for you, and that's why you need to talk to us.
Well, you don't want your LinkedIn to be like a SingPass, right? Where
No.
You know what I mean?
Cannot,
Yeah.
cannot. IC number of children.
No, no, no.
Yeah, no.
Again,
No,
it's
no,
not
no, no.
social media. It's not social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even then, don't reveal those information.
No,
on
for
social.
sure. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much,
SingPass.
Yen, for joining us, as
Yeah,
always.
very happy to be here. Again, we have the event on the January 13th. It's our career success workshop. It's our public run. We are looking forward to sharing all sorts of tips and tricks. And I asked a few questions this morning. And if you find that you're not able to answer with a resounding yes to some of these questions, do think about coming and joining us on the 13th of January.
Yeah.
Go to www.careeragility.org/happy@work.
All right,
There
we've
you
been
go.
Look forward to
speaking
seeing you
to
there.
Yen from Career Agility International. Thank you very much, Yen.
Take care.
Kiss 92.
I listen all day. My favorite station.